Hey Bales, today I want to show you my small engine for adding draggable objects in GameMaker Studio. There's some key points in this engine that whatever item you take will be moved on top of other objects, and you will always take the first item in a stack, so you will always take the one closest to you if there's multiple under the cursor. So you can easily move things around as it seems most right this way, because that's the most natural way for things to work. So let's see how it works. First and foremost, I will say that the script is available at my Gumroad shop, gumroad.com/blessheygaming, and I'll put an annotation and a link in the description. The first important thing here is our position get top instance script, which does exactly what it says. It gets the top instance at a position, and that takes a x, y, and an object as arguments. And what it does is it simply first loops through every. Let's start from the start. We have a variable here defined setting depth to 9,000. Large number 99999. I don't even know what the number is, and don't want to figure out. And we have n here, which is 0. That's our current index for our loop we'll go through here. We have marked, which will contain the index position for whatever depth we find to be on top. And then we have an array, which in we fill all our indexes. So we start off checking if there's anything, any one of our objects on our position, and if that's true, then it will do this loop, meaning it will skip this if this is not true, because the while loop works as a repetitive if statement. So as long as this is true, we will put the current index, so we will say first it will be array 0 equals to, and then the instance as the position, so we will get a random instance at that position. Instance position will not give you the top or the bottom object, it will give you an arbitrary ID, one of those at the position. So you cannot really trust that to do things for you, so it will take a random of the objects at the position, and then if the depth of this object is less than our depth variable, which is normally will be for starters, then it will set depth to be this depth, so it will decrease the depth, and it will set the marked to be this object. And yeah, then it will move this out of the way 99,999 pixels up, so that it's not at the position anymore, and then it will add to n. And then if there's another object, it will repeat this, and if the depth is smaller than the other object's depth, it will become our next marked object. If not, it will just move it away and continue. So we'll loop through all the instances of our object at the position. Then we have a marked object and the depth of this object. And if we have any instances on this position, then this will be turned into this variable up here will be an array, so we can use the check here is array to see if this has happened. If not, then we'll just return no one because there was no objects on the position. But if there is, then we will first, using a for loop, add all our instances back to their original position by adding 99,999 to the position, the y position, and then we will return the instance of the marked, object. So it's not too complicated, the script. It looks very complicated, but it's actually a pretty simple principle. So we use this. And then we have our object here, and these are the two things you need to implement into your project if you want something to be draggable. This parent draggable contains the rest of the code. It has a couple of variables. We have we do not need this actually. Sorry, I will update the script. Nope, we're not using this anywhere. It was a previous way I did the things, but I changed it, so sorry for that. But we have drag X and drag Y, which will be our position of the mouse relative to the sprite origin of our object. Meaning that if we have like a object here, we will say this is our object. Boom, it has a centered sprite origin, so this is the sprite origin, and our cursor is up here. Now the cursor is pressing on the object, so the variables here will be used, and we'll come to that in a moment. The X will be this distance and the Y will be this distance. So in this case it will be positive something, negative something. So that's pretty easy. Or technically this will be positive something and negative something because it's taking the cursor minus this position. So yeah, either way, it will find the distance between these things. Copy is a variable we use to, yeah, I'll come back to that, but it's needed as well. And selected is simply whether this object, this instance, is selected, is being dragged right now. So then we have our actual drag code and our copy code. I'll come back to the copy code. No, I will actually take this now. Our copy code will, if this is set to true, then it will set it to false. It will copy this instance and destroy this instance, meaning it will make an exact copy of the instance itself, but because it has been copied, it will be below everything else because of the way instances work. So this is how I push everything to the back of our instance. And then this will be drawn first, because it's the first instance, and therefore it will be drawn below other things. This is because I don't want to change the depth, because the depth, if you use specific depth to stuff and things, then it will be problematic, to say the least. So this is my way to go past this. Yeah, the actual drag code here is, we have the start drag segment, the during drag segment, and the end drag segment. And the start drag is simply if the mouse button is pressed, the left mouse button, and if there is if this instance we're inside is at the position of the mouse, and if it is the top instance. So if all these things are true, if this is the one we actually want to take, then we go through all the part draggables, all our draggable objects, and set their copy to true because we want to push everything to the back. And we don't need this either. I don't know why I kept that in. I'll update this. Sorry about that. Then we set their selected to false, because if anyone else is selected for some reason, we want to reset that. And then we set our selected to true, meaning that we can now, this is dragged, and we set our copy to false because we don't want to copy ourselves. And then we simply set drag X and drag Y to mouse X minus X and mouse Y minus Y, and that was what I explained before. Taking the mouse position, this is mouse position, this is the origin, so that this is our X position, this is our mouse X position, and then this minus this gives this distance, and that's what we have stored here. Then during drag, if it is selected and if the mouse button is still pressed, then we will set our X position to mouse X minus drag X, meaning that we will place it relatively to the mouse position as it was placed before, relatively to the mouse position. And if either it's not selected or if mouse button is not pressed, then we'll end the drag by setting select to false, thus stopping ourselves from dragging around. And to use it, you simply take your object you want to be draggable, and then you set its parent to be part draggable. And you can set it to any depth you want actually, because it will keep in mind that this object's depth will not be changed. So it will be placed this way relative to other things, which I think is pretty good. So now this can be used easily, and you can of course always use mutation of this. If you have like different kinds of object, you can make different parents for these objects, and thus dividing into what objects are draggable at the same time and stuff like that. But normally you won't have one parent for everything, because you want only one object to be draggable at the same time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. As I said before, you can download it on my Gumroad shop. It will be linked in the description, and it will be having an annotation on the screen, so you can simply go to the direct download. It is free, of course, as my other stuff in there currently are, and I want to keep as much free for you as you can. You can, if you want to, throw me a small donation. It will make me happy, but it is not something you need to do to have my blessings in using this. You can use this as you want. So I hope you enjoyed. See you next video. Bye. Whoa, you seem to be at the end of the video. If you liked this video, or even if you didn't, it would make me incredibly happy if you would just rate it. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.